Good afternoon. Welcome to a little coffee time. Uh, was having my coffee this morning and just thought, it'd be cool to make a video today. And videos are pretty fun to make, but they're they come with a lot of challenges at times. There's the recording process. You got to think of an idea, plan it out, and then the editing process, which is one of my biggest hurdles when it comes to making a video. So in effort to actually make one, I thought, you know what, we can just eliminate that hurdle and do a live. So before we get into a couple questions, which a few people submitted on the stories this morning, and if you have any questions, whatever it may be, maybe just drop it in the comment or the chat. And here in a second, I'll answer some, at least try to. But sort of what I wanted to talk about real briefly today is like how to, just like I mentioned, start making a video can be difficult. I wanted to talk about how to start difficult things. I try to be a good friend and motivate my friends to push themselves. And I think sometimes I need that motivation too, because sometimes things that we want to do are pretty difficult to get started. So one of the keys I think in starting difficult things is literally just starting, just doing it, not trying to have everything figured out. Sometimes like this, for example, doing a live, I I definitely don't have everything figured out with the best way to do a live, but I thought, you know what, instead of allowing roadblocks to keep me from doing it, I'm just going to kind of learn along the way. And that's, I think, the best way to learn. You learn so much quicker, I found, by just doing, um, more so than studying the thing, watching YouTube videos about the thing over and over and over. So maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to start a business, a YouTube channel, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to start a Bible study. I think I saw somebody in the chat said they want to start a Bible study. um, my biggest piece of advice would be not to overthink it. Just do it. um, yeah. Second thing within that of just starting is you don't have to have it all figured out. You can just do it. What's up, Javi? Welcome. So second key thing before we get to some questions, and I just have three here, but the second big thing is whatever that thing is that you want to start, whether it's a podcast, a business, Bible study, to name a few, break it down into small steps, as small of steps as necessary, so that you have no excuse not to do the thing. So, for example, if we use a podcast, you want to start a podcast, break it down into small of steps, bite-sized steps as possible, that even seem like insanely small. Like for example, if you need to, right, sit down, um, pull out recording device. Like if you need to get that granular, do it, so that you literally have no excuse to not just start whatever the thing is that you want to start. Breaking it down into bite-sized steps is one of the best ways, I found personally, to just start difficult things. Make it not difficult, right? And the simplest way to do that is by breaking up the big task. Then the third thing that I kind of came up with for how to start difficult things is, kind of along with the first two, is starting in simple ways. So if going with the podcast idea, if you want to start a podcast, one of your first steps shouldn't be buying a mic and recording equipment, because you can start a podcast with just your phone, with voice memos or different podcasting apps. You could record directly into that and upload and eliminate the excuses. So by eliminating excuses and obstacles, that's a great way to get to the point that you want to get, having that goal in mind of whatever it is you want to start. And at first too, whatever it is that you want to start, I think it's best not to focus on the how. That's what I have found in like podcasts, trying to do a podcast and different difficult things. I didn't know how to do it at first, but I didn't really focus on the how. I just focused on doing it and starting it, and then the how, the what, all the topics, all those other things, they kind of just they come. Um, and then the last thing, which this is sort of a bonus, the last thing is to get somebody who will push you and motivate you to take action. Uh, some people don't have as much motivation as others. Some of us, speaking about myself here, some of us overthink more than others. So it's great to have a friend, different supports who will push you. They'll check in with you and say, "Hey, have you started that thing? Have you done that next step?" And set it up with them. Set up a weekly call or monthly call where you can look at your plan of whatever thing it is that you want to start, and s- be accountable to them of where you're at in the process. You've done the first steps. You've decided what you want to do. You've broken it down into simple bite-sized chunks. Now be accountable to them and say, "Hey, this week, this month, I did steps 1, 2, 3, and I'm this much closer to doing the thing." Or maybe, to use like a popular one, the thing you want to start is a podcast or a YouTube channel. It's one thing to just start, but then of course you want to continue it. So having that accountability and a friend who will push you and say, "Hey, it's been a while since I've seen an episode," or "It's been a while since you've done a video." um, Brainstorm with them, talk about things that you can improve, and those are just some of the best ways that I have found to start difficult things. So let's see if we have any questions here. That's kind of all I have. So somebody said that they want to start a young men's Bible study. I think that's awesome. Very, very needed for sure. I think, again, going back to kind of the steps, just start it. Uh, you just need one person to be with, and there's your Bible study. It doesn't have to be a big group. You don't have to even necessarily have it all thought out of what you're going to talk about. Um, Pick a place and a time and a friend, and do it and say, "Hey, do you want to do this on a weekly basis? I think this would be great if we just sit down." And maybe you don't feel comfortable. I don't know, Jacob. I don't trying to see your picture. I don't think I know you personally, but maybe you're somebody, or this is for maybe somebody else. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't feel super comfortable with like teaching a Bible study, but there's so many ways even to get past that by like just studying the Bible together with somebody and doing it in a way of a conversational way. That's why I love podcasts, for the conversation. You don't have to be the expert in any area, but you ask questions and get the person to think about it, and then use the Bible as of course your map, to answer those questions. But you don't have to be the expert. So kind of hopefully that helps. So one other question somebody asked earlier is, what's one thing that you do that you feel is specific for your walk with God? And I got like a little bit of clarity from them on that. And they were kind of meaning like, what's something that I do, I guess that's like specific to me, or yeah, like whether it's disciplines or whatnot. Um, and I don't know. I didn't really have a long time to think about that. Maybe one of the things is, I try to pray early in the morning, have a time of devotion. So about like 5:30. I work pretty early too. So, but I found that's a great discipline. It's a hard thing as well, kind of along with this conversation, but um, and that's a whole nother topic, kind of getting up early. But go back here to the question in the chat. how do I get the word about it? I think I'm assuming you probably mean, for this question in the chat, you probably mean how do you get the word out about it, since you don't have a neighborhood of young people. Um, I'm in marketing for my job, and I mean, getting the word out is, awareness is for sure a huge thing. Um, I mean, going to where people are, for your previous question of starting a Bible study. If you work a job uh, that's not from home, then you have connections right there of people to talk to, and that's again, that's a hard thing, right? We're kind of the topic of how to do hard things, how to start difficult things. Talking to people sometimes about God and asking if they want a Bible study can be difficult, but I think the best way to do that is going to where they are, their job, they're on a break, on lunch, at coffee shops, um, just wherever you run into people, when you get a haircut, having a conversation and having a church card handy to give to the person that gives you a haircut. Really, any and every situation, because every single person is an opportunity to have a Bible study. Um, could always do posters as well, maybe at your local coffee shop. That would be a pretty cool way. Never necessarily tried, but that would be cool. One thing that we did when I was in Bible school, we would go to the local college and literally just kind of mingle and chat with people in this college's like student center, which was huge. We would like play pool for a little bit and just talk to people, and then we would say, hey, we're going to have a Bible study downstairs in like 15 minutes or at this time, if you want to come through. um, and sometimes we'd only have one person, other times it'd be two or three, but that was a pretty good way to do it. You just got to get to where people are. So see if we have any other questions. If not, keep it pretty simple today. Think that's it. Cool. So if you missed it, you can, once we end here, you can feel free to go back and see how to start difficult things. Talked about just like 3 or 4 easy steps, kind of to start difficult things. So encourage you to go back, check that out. Um, but that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me for a quick conversation and coffee today. So till next time.